Good afternoon. I am Raisa Serafica, Unit Head of Civic Engagement for Rappler, and this is Rappler Talk. Today, we have a very interesting topic. Why is it important to hack society? Para po sa mga hindi nakakaalam, dito sa Rappler, we have an ideathon called Hack Society. In partnership with UNDP, we launched Hack Society to crowdsource hacks and solutions aimed to address problems here in our country. Now, to share their Hack Society journey, here we have today si Robbie Del Rosario from Uproot and Pam Hia from Phoenix. Welcome to Rappler Talk. Okay. Before we start, can you share ano ba yung big idea ng projects ninyo? What is Uproot and then what is Phoenix?
Okay, Uproot is based. We introduced community shared aquaponics. So our goal here is to educate the community about yung benefits ng aquaponics, not only to them, but also to the whole community, and especially their children. But second is we plan to employ them through our communal food production centers, where the community will grow produce for Uproot, and then so we provide employment for them. And last is we empower the whole community through community shared aquaponics, which our plan really is to connect them to mga restaurants and hotels para maging sustainable yung community nila.
So for Uproot, ano yung particular problem yung gusto niyang i-tackle?
Okay. So Uproot was born out of kasi I met this kid selling rugs in the streets of Taytay about 2 years ago. So that's where the whole idea of Uproot started. Now, when I was putting groceries at the back of my car, yung Dodong, the small kid, approached me, asked me if I could buy some of the rugs he was selling. But nakita ko yung sobrang liit na, and ang laki-laki nung dala-dala niya. I was with my daughter back then. She was 2 years old. So, ginawa ko, in-invite ko si Dodong mag-snack sa malapit na fast food doon. And that's where I got to know him more. So, he shared with me na he had 4 other siblings. So, he was the eldest. He was 10 years old. And yung trabaho ng mga magulang niya is mga extra lang. Yung typical sa mga marginalized communities. And yun, that's parang nagkaroon ako ng light bulb, and that's where I figured it out na yung aquaponics will be more beneficial to these yung communities na kasi ang main problem nila is walang opportunities sa where they live. And so that's where we came up with yung community-based aquaponics, where we're going to be based sa community. They'll grow the food, and then Uproot will provide access to market for them.
So, nagsimula sa isang encounter with a street child, and then dun nag-start yung aquaponics idea mo.
Just to add to that, kasi I was going through one of the most difficult parts of my life back then. Before, I had a very successful transport business, hotel transport business. But then, yung partner ko nun, my former associate ran off with my money. So back then, I was really parang namomroblema ako nun. But then, when I met Dodong, parang ako namomroblema ako sa bagay na pera lang, na mapapalitan siya eventually. But yung problema na itong mga to, right from the start, pagkapanganak nila, gano'n na yung buhay nila na. So parang, yun, na-realize ko na marami pang problema na mas malalim na pwedeng ma-resolve.
Interesting how you saw that as an opportunity to help other people. For you naman, Pam, what is Phoenix, and what does it want to solve or address?
So for Phoenix naman, what we do is, as like a one-liner, our Phoenix is we collect textile waste such as old clothes like from households and fabric scraps from garment factories, and we transform them into higher valued products such as footwear, bags, and new fabric. And so we want to give solution to textile waste, but hindi lang kami focus on our environmental mission. We also have our social impact wherein all our products are made by our local artisans from Marikina. And one of the ways we actually upcycle the fabric is we weave them into a whole new fabric as well. And the best part nga is that all our textile weavers are persons with disability. So we're doing environmental and social impact as well.
So for Robbie, he started his idea nung he met street children. Ikaw, saan nag-start yung, how did you think about things?
Yeah.
Ano yung roots niya?
So my background actually is I am a graduate of clothing technology from the University of the Philippines. And during my senior year, we had like individual thesis about to graduate. And I did a thesis on the fashion social enterprises in the Philippines. So dun talaga ako namulat into like fashion social entrepreneurship in general. So I figured that my next venture should definitely be a social enterprise. And my eureka moment was when I was trying to actually find ano ba yung like environmental issue or social issue that I wanted to like actually tackle. I was actually cleaning my closet. And I realized that we don't have proper disposal venues for our old clothes. So I was like, what if I turn my old dresses into shoes? So the next day, I went to the zapateros in Marikina and I had the first prototypes made. Yeah, there.
From 2016, when you joined Hack Society, in 2017, last year, ano yung mga greatest takeaways niyo from that ideathon?
I think for me, it's funny because when I heard about the competition, I was very hesitant to join. Because from the title itself, like Hack Society, it actually sounds too tech for me. So I really didn't want to, I was very hesitant. In fact, I actually applied 5 minutes before the deadline. But because of that, I mean, I took the chance. And then we actually won Hack Society, and then it brought Phoenix to an international platform. So I think my biggest takeaway is actually you have to take chances. And, you know, if you really want to pursue your startup or your project, you really have to find opportunities. You have to find it yourself. Yeah.
Ikaw naman, Robbie.
Okay, my biggest takeaway was siguro when I joined Hack Society 2 years ago. I really had no idea what I was getting into or what it will lead me to where I am right now. But I just went there I remember I went to Green Sun because I was tired of complaining. During that time, the Philippine economy was growing. The government had lots of money, but eventually, parang it did not trickle down to the bottom of the pyramid. So I felt that something had to be done, and so I just joined there, not knowing what will come up, and so yeah, I took the chance, and so right now, parang that idea 2 years ago is now slowly becoming a reality.
So parang ang Uproot and then Phoenix, wala pang 3 years old, diba? All in their parang young startups pa lang. So far, since you started your projects, ano yung mga challenges that you've encountered? I'm sure iba-iba yan, depende rin sa...
A lot, actually. Nandiyan yung typical yung funding, like finding the right team. But for us, it was more of the finding the right business model that would fit to our values and what we want to do. So, and you'd be surprised how many times we've changed our business model. And right now, we feel that we have the perfect business model for our social enterprise.
Can you share with us kung ano na yung naging process in finding that right business model?
So when we were first starting out, I remember doing the business mapping canvas with Hack Society, and that's where the whole idea started. Na parang we want this as a social enterprise. So back then our business model was buy one give one. At first it was doing okay, but eventually parang it reached a plateau na, so we had to reinvent, or we pivoted. So from there we went to a B2C model, business to consumers, which was, we were doing quite okay. That's where we made most of our money. But then we realized, for us to become sustainable and to really scale up the business and grow our impact, we have to pivot again. So right now, we're pivoting to a B2B model. So we're targeting yung mga hotels and restaurants.
Ikaw, Pam, pareho ba same din ba kayo ng challenges, or iba din yung naging parang mas pressing problem for you?
I think the first thing that Robbie mentioned, funding,
Okay.
has been like the biggest problem for us. Actually, the reason why I was motivated to apply for Hack Society was for the prize money. Because for 2 years, we have been competing a lot locally and international business competitions. And most of the time naman, we usually win, but all we get are the trophies. You know, what we really need is the funding. So actually, I really cried last year because when I didn't get the prize money, because like I just felt like yung mga zapateros, pati yung mga weavers, parang they're also counting on me to actually, jumpstart the production. But I need the funding to jumpstart that. And eventually naman, because we got already into international platforms, we eventually got grants. But now, ang biggest problem for us is actually perfecting the production flow. Parang we're still having problems on, like, okay, so many people are donating their old clothes to us, but now how do we actually create the products from this one? Madami pa siyang stages na kailangan pa namin is-smooth out to actually get a smooth production flow. So that's our biggest problem now. And also, like, when you're launching a retail brand, especially in the fashion industry, it's a very competitive industry. So I guess one challenge is how will Phoenix actually stand out in the retail market, considering that like the Filipinos like Western brands. So how do we actually convince them to buy our sustainable products versus Western products?
So, hindi siya madali. I think you've mentioned there are many different challenges when starting a startup.
Yeah.
Pero what keeps you in this industry? Bakit? Why are you still here?
I think for me personally, when I've been an entrepreneur since I was 17, so I knew from then talaga that I'm really in the entrepreneurship world. But it was when I did my thesis and got to know what a fashion social enterprise is. It's more than just profit. It goes for the triple bottom line, planet, people, profit. And from there, I made this commitment that, this is what I'm going to be doing as long as I can for the rest of my life. And, as an entrepreneur, it's really not an easy. I think for me, ito talaga yung mga pinakamahirap mong gagawin as a person. And I am a solo founder. So, what really keeps me going is my why, which is the textile waste talaga. The textile waste, and at the same time, hanggang parang for me, hanggang sa may textile waste, laban lang tayo. And because I am also helping like the shoemakers, the bag makers, and the weavers, this community, the beneficiaries are the people that really keeps me going as well. Because like there's accountability talaga eh.
Ikaw, Robbie, did you ever consider giving up?
A lot of times. If you'll ask my wife, siguro 1,000 times. But yeah, starting an enterprise is hard already. Starting a social enterprise is
Even harder.
even harder. Yeah. So yeah, oftentimes we've been asked, why do we do what we do? And I always tell them is yung RY is our children. So I also have a 6-year-old daughter, and I want her to grow up na the food that they eat are healthy, are not laced with any chemicals or any pesticides. So that's what I want, and not only for my kid, but for the children. Kasi, like they said, ang future natin is yung mga bata, and we have to take care of them. And like yun, I've said this before, na malnutrition is affecting more than 7 million Filipino children, and they're aged 5 years and below. And their effects are lifetime. And so we really have to do something about it right now.
It's basically for the next generation. For both of you, how optimistic are you when it comes to pushing forward kasi you've been meeting a lot of people then, ganyan. In terms of the industry, how does the industry helps you stay motivated?
Well, right now, our present agriculture practices is not enough. That's why ang taas ng presyo ng mga bilihin, lalo ng mga gulay. And,
lalo at may inflation ngayon.
Yes. Add to that. Yung 6 point ngayon, tumaas ulit, di ba? But yung 6.7 yan, pagdating sa mga yung bottom of the pyramid talaga, nasa 8 or 9 pa nga yan. And, yun, kailangan talaga nating humanap ng ibang paraan para mag-grow ng sarili nating mga pagkain.
For me, sa global scale, the fashion industry is the second largest polluter in the world. So actually, that's the biggest problem that Phoenix focuses on. But local scale though, like one of the industry itself, actually not just the industry, but the whole ecosystem, considering like private institutions and the government. To be honest, if you're someone that's putting up a social enterprise, this ecosystem is not healthy for you at all. And I'd have to be frank, because what I notice is that we get more opportunities from international countries and international institutions. And it's just sad because even if you start something good here, like a social enterprise, your government or like private institutions, they don't give you the sufficient help to actually help you, do your impact. Kahit yung may good intentions ka naman, but I just find it, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm from the fashion industry, but I just don't see that opportunity and help from the right people comparing to like other countries who give these opportunities and help to social enterprises like us.
Yeah. For you, Robbie, do you have mentors that help you, that guides you in your startup journey?
So, well, we've been fortunate enough that we've had, for the past 2 years, we've had a pool of mentors. It started nung winning the Hack Society. Wala kaming cash prize nun. We got a 6-month incubation program with Impact Hub Manila.
I see.
So, but it really helped us grow our idea into something that's tangible.
Looking back at your own respective journeys, may mga hindi ba kayo makakalimutan? Like, karanasan with maybe your communities?
Ako, like in relation to Hack Society, one of the most memorable moments talaga was actually ending up as the first runner-up. Because I will always remember that day when they actually announced the winner, because I really wanted the funding and I ended up not winning. Grabe yung iyak ko after the show. But, what I really realized then was that maybe it's really just a matter of perfect timing, It's just really not my opportunity. And then, after that, Phoenix actually won grants in international platforms. So, maybe if this opportunity is not for you, yun yung lagi ko lang sinasabi na parang you did not win in Hack Society, but look where Phoenix is now. So, parang that's something I will always take with me and I won't really forget.
Yeah. Maganda yun. So, this opportunity is not for you, but maybe the next one is.
Yes. That's why you really have to, as cliche and cheesy as it sounds, you have to persevere talaga.
Ikaw, Robbie, meron ka bang unforgettable experience? Maybe with working with the communities that you've,
Yes. Yun. We're working with 2 communities right now. And for us, going back there, parang we know that we're doing something right. Kasi we're seeing our beneficiaries' lives improve. Like, some of our beneficiaries are earning extra income now through Uproot without any one of them having to give up their regular job. So for us, that's that's what drives us. We're doing something right, and we know that we're doing something right kasi we're seeing it firsthand.
What does it feel, I mean, for both of you, seeing your communities and then the PWD communities, what does it feel seeing them empowered or happy in their place?
For me, I'm a very emotional person. So actually, the first time we did our first run of weaving with the textile weavers that are persons with disability, naiyak talaga ako. Because actually from them na sinasabi nila that it's really nice to actually find income in doing something that is actually good for their mental health. So to see them say that, and kasi, you know, PWDs, diba, it's really hard for them to get employment, and to see them actually earning and doing something really creative for our enterprise, yun talaga, it really touched me talaga.
Ikaw, Robbie, umiyak ka na rin ba?
Oo, maraming beses na. Dahil gusto ko na mag-quit. Yun, like, si Yaya Tin, she works as a Yaya in our village. But before, parang may yung youngest daughter na nagtatrabaho din. But through Uproot, right now, she's now able to send her youngest daughter to college. So parang nagkaroon ng hope. Kasi yung yung panganay niya, dapat magtatapos na ng college pero nabuntis. So yung isa na, yung second na anak na nagtatrabaho na rin, so hindi na college. So eto, for the first time, may chance na sa pamilya nila may makakagraduate. So yung mga ganyang stories, it grounds us and it makes us parang want to do more.
Okay. Before we end, I'm sure there are a lot of young Filipinos like you na may great ideas and then gusto rin magsimula ng sarili ng startup. What's your message for them?
For me, one is the entrepreneurship thing, it's really not for everyone. So like right now, the society, parang it builds up na parang being an entrepreneur is like a glamorous thing. You know, oh, I'm an entrepreneur. Pero sobrang hirap talaga. So
That's just yung tip nung...
yeah, it's like tip of the iceberg. Wala lang yun. But so if you are gonna pursue this path, for me, you really have to know your why. Meaning, ano ba talaga yung problemang gusto mong i-solve, and sino ba talaga yung taong gusto mong tulungan? Because if you're just in it for the glamour or for the fame or, you know, for easy money, though it's not easy money, you won't last at all. And, you know, parang if you're gonna go dive into it, might as well, you know, go all the way. Alamin mo na yung why mo, ganyan, parang lakihan mo na yung impact mo. And like I said, entrepreneurship is very, very difficult. So you have to be patient. Value the, you know, perfect timing. That for me, it's very important because you can have the right product or the right team, the right money, but if it's not your time to break through it, it will not happen. So you have to be patient.
For us, I guess, like she said, it's not entrepreneurship, especially social entrepreneurship, is not for everyone. And you have to know your passion and your values. But yung values will always be there to ground you. But yeah, I guess yun nga, parang always just kasi there are times talaga na much challenge ka and it will push you to your limits. But you have to really find your passion and then find the pain points of our country. So, I guess that's the most important thing. Like for us, food security, poverty, unemployment, all of those you can connect through Uproot. But there are other problems out there like malnutrition. It's affecting 1 billion people out there. But yung obesity, is affecting, I think, more than 7 billion all over the world. So find your pain points, and then from there, work it.
Thank you, Pam and Robbie, for joining us today. Ang inspiring kasi I think yung consistent message going beyond yourself. For our viewers, if you're interested to join Hack Society, you can check rappler.com/hacksociety2018. Again, this is Raisa Serafica, and this has been Rappler Talk. Good day.